Hi everyone, thank you for joining me once again. You asked what are incantation bowls, and I would like to answer, so let's talk for a minute about something that existed for centuries. Incantation bowls was something that we find mainly in the area of ancient Mesopotamia between the 1st and the 7th centuries. What you have there is this rounded plate or a bowl that on the inside of it you find inscriptions or holy names. You can find it in Hebrew or in different languages in the area. And in the middle you can sometimes find this entity, maybe a demonic entity, which is being locked down with chains or shackles. And this bowl would be put underneath the house upside down in order to keep away unwelcomed entities or to increase the protection on the house or even heal someone in the house that needs healing. The interesting thing is that we know that some of them were created by women. In many of the languages in this area, when it comes to verbs and nouns, you have differences between the female, the feminine pronunciation, and the male one. So we know that many of them use the feminine pronunciation, the female verbs. And some of them even wrote their names. And the interesting thing is that there is a ceremony being described of those women going to the roof of the house that they wish to protect. Sometimes they can fight and just block those entities, and sometimes they negotiate with them. And what they do is that sometimes they bring entities that we are not used to think of them as protectors in order to protect this house, sometimes even Asmodeus and Lilith. And they are being there as protectors and defenders against other entities because you need really powerful ones to be able to protect you. This phenomena is gradually disappearing from the 7th century on, although we do know today that people kept on creating amulets in the shape of bowls. And also what we can find are these plates that have mystical inscriptions on them and symbols. Once you place something in this plate, either food or drinks, and consuming it, then you are absorbing the powers of the symbols and the words through this liquids or food, and now it's in your body, either protection or healing. And what we do know is that, for example, in the 19th century, we do find an amulet that is calling Bilal, that could have been another name for Asmodeus as the demonic king, and here he is being respected as a protective entity. There's also incantations from the Middle Ages and the Renaissance calling Ashmedai and Agat Bat Machalat demonic beings in order to help with love, this spell or incantation of love for a young woman. So those incantation bowls are played, though disappearing from the 7th century on, do reflect a larger phenomena in the ancient times that saw the supernatural world as something complicated, not automatically good and not automatically bad. There are stories of women in areas such as Sarajevo that used such liquids or foods in order to heal people. And there too, we know of stories of where they used to evacuate the entire street. All the people would wait outside of the village or the street or the neighborhood because it was considered to be a very powerful ceremony. And what they did there is to negotiate with those entities and maybe fight with them if necessary in order to protect the person in the house that needed the healing, the protection, and so on. If you know any interesting ceremonies or amulets that are resemble of this in other cultures and other traditions, do share them with us. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.